This is 1480 KRAE Cheyenne. What you are about to hear is a sports talk radio show unlike any other that has ever before been broadcast in the capital city of Cheyenne, Wyoming, USA. This is Cheyenne, Wyoming's Sports Talk Authority. The Wyoming Cowboys, the Denver Broncos, the Colorado Rockies, and the Denver Nuggets. The show is local, it's regional, and yes, the show is national as well. Wyoming Sports Talk Today is on the air. If they're talking sports on the radio in Cheyenne, this is the place it happens. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
And welcome to a Thursday afternoon Wyoming Sports Talk Today, being brought to you by Marv's Plumbing and Heating, 1515 Logan Avenue. Remember, Marv's always on the job 24/7. Don't hesitate to give them a call if something goes awry in your casa. Marv's Plumbing and Heating. Mondello's Pizzeria, 7 days a week, the best in Paisan cuisine, cooked up by Joe and the gang. And again, if you're just going there for a good old-fashioned pie, you're going to enjoy it. You want a sandwich, it's on fresh baked bread. You're going to enjoy it. Stromboli, calzones, yes. It's just going to be enjoyable eating all the time at Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, Suite D in the Greenway Commons. Across the street at 1508 Stillwater Avenue, it's First Tier Bank. Right now, in a 27-month CD, they're offering 3.1% APY, annual percentage yield. Stop on by. Get that 27-month CD and make a couple of bucks in the process at First Tier Bank. Lennox Auto Body ×2, celebrating a quarter century here in the Cap City, founded by Dick Lennox. Tradition carried on by his daughter, Heather, and she has done a fantastic job. Nothing has skipped a beat. The Auto Body Repair Shop over on Dunn Avenue with a plethora of bays. The Auto Glass and Detail Center for you over on Pershing Boulevard. Medicap Pharmacy, for all your pharmaceutical needs, let Gene and his great staff fill those medications for you with your doctor's prescription. See Medicap Pharmacy today, Bluegrass Circle, next door to Texas Roadhouse. Platte Valley Bank, banking with today's technology, banking the old-fashioned way, and everything in between, and of course, all of the amenities that Platte Valley Bank offers. See my good friend Rick and the gang over at Platte Valley Bank ×2 on Vanda High, and again, over on the east side at the corner of College and Pershing. Key of Cheyenne on Nation Way, where AJ and the crew invite you to come on by, test drive the 19s, including the new Telluride, the new SUV from Key of Cheyenne. I'll tell you what, it's a nice-looking ride, and AJ's got some 19s on the lot right now for you to take a test drive and take home today. Key of Cheyenne and Nation Way. Chick-fil-A at the corner of Windmill and Delrange, serving up 3 squares right across from Menards. 2 convenient drive-thrus. And again, Ray and Cindy always want to remind you that they do cater outs, and we're getting to that part of the year where we start thinking about graduations, Mother's Day, whatever. Again, go to CheyenneChicken.com, and they will do a fantastic cater for you over at Chick-fil-A. Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service on Highway 30, your exclusive home for Jayco RVs, fifth wheels, and travel trailers. Some 18s on the lot, 19s on the lot too. Great financing packages right now. Hey, some great savings packages if you're looking at last year's model of Jolly Rogers RV, Jayco, fifth wheels, and travel trailers. We also want to thank our friends over at Taco John's of Cheyenne, again, offering many goodies on the menu for you. So, again, maybe you want to do their quesadilla, their fish tacos. They've got everything for you so you don't have to cook tonight. See our good friends at Taco John's of Cheyenne. And we get things underway with our scoreboard. It's brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne. Once again, we start things off with Nick. Here he is.
NHL action for tonight. Carolina Hurricanes at home. They will play host to the Washington Capitals, where the Capitals lead that series 2-1. You can see that game on NBC Sports Network. Moving on to Winnipeg with the Jets at home. They will take on the St. Louis Blues. That series is tied 2 apiece. You can see that game on USA Network. And last but not least, in the Shark Tank SAP Center there in San Jose, California, the San Jose Sharks will take on the Vegas Golden Knights. The Golden Knights have a 3-1 series lead, and you can see that game on NBC Sports Network. That's what's happening. NHL action for tonight. And before you get to baseball and basketball, do want to remind folks, since this is our final show, at least for the week, at least coming up this weekend, Post 6 in action Friday and Saturday over at Powers Field, as again, Friday's opening contest at 6 p.m. against Laramie. That has been moved from Sunday to Friday, tomorrow night at Powers Field. And the Cheyenne Mustangs over at Pioneer Park on Saturday, 1 and 3 o'clock. They will take on the Casper Crush. So that's what's happening in local baseball action this weekend.
Major League Baseball. Diamondbacks beat the Braves this afternoon at SunTrust Stadium. Final score 4-1 at Nats Park in D.C. It was the Nationals doubling up the Giants on getaway day 4-2. The Motor City Kitties of Detroit at Comerica with a 9-7 win against the White Sox in afternoon action. Blue Jays and the Twins at Target Field. Jays come away with a 7-4 decision. Games getting underway before we leave. Royals at the Yankees in the 5 o'clock hour. Orioles at the Rays. Dodgers on the road. They'll take on the Brewers at Miller Park in the 6 o'clock hour. Rockies at 6:40 from Coors Field. They will have a date with the Phils. It will be Kyle Freeland towing the rubber. Zach Efron on the hill for the Philadelphia Phillies. M's at the Angels tonight at Angel Stadium, Anaheim, and in the 8 o'clock hour as well. Reds and the Padres from Petco. On to the NBA schedule for tonight. These will be game threes. Right now, knotted up at one game apiece as they're in the Barclays Center. 76ers and the Nets for tonight. Nuggets and the Spurs will be at the AT&T Center, knotted up at one game apiece. Warriors and the Clippers also knotted up at one game apiece. They will be in Staples for this evening. That will be the late night contest from the left coast. Our scoreboard brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne.
Hi, I'm Alex White, tea master at Pure Leaf. When I make tea, everything I know goes into it. You can't be impatient. When I craft Pure Leaf iced tea, I don't take shortcuts, because I want you to have the same amazing taste of iced tea that I do. So I start with fresh picked tea leaves. Then, after they're delicately dried, I blend and brew them at a lower temperature to draw out their unique aromas. And then I taste and fine-tune the blend for a delicious smooth iced tea. I'd love to have you take a sip right now, but that's one thing we can't do over the radio. But you can experience the same delicious taste of Pure Leaf iced tea anywhere you are. I'm Alex White, Pure Leaf Tea Master. Pure Leaf, our thing is tea.
For almost 60 years, 1480 KRAE has been Cheyenne's home for good times and great oldies. Add to that live play-by-play sports featuring high school football and basketball, along with LCCC men's and women's basketball. Now combo that with KYOY-FM and you have Cheyenne and the area's only locally owned AM and FM radio stations. But we don't stop there. We also have 2 FM translators which serve the area with programming from both KRAE and KYOY. And that equals a lot of bang for your advertising dollar. Radio yesterday and now today, along with our websites, web streams, and digital ventures makes us your one-stop shop. For more information, please call Larry Proetti at 307-637-0301.
At Platte Valley Bank, we understand that you have a busy life, and that means you don't always have time to come to the bank. That's why we offer user-friendly online and mobile banking with features such as bill pay, recurring transfers, and mobile deposit, so you can bank how you want when you want to. Whether you prefer to bank in person, over the phone, or online, Platte Valley Bank makes it easy to take care of your finances.
Platte Valley Bank, member FDIC.
You can count on Platte Valley Bank. Community banking for you.
Are you thinking about buying a new water heater? You could spend $1,300 or more on a gas-fired water heater. Or you could spend $0 on a top-of-the-line electric water heater from High West Energy. That's right, $0. High West members can upgrade from gas to electric without spending a penny. Don't you wish all decisions were this easy? Go to highwestenergy.com to learn more or call 307-245-3261. High West Energy, the best choice, the local choice, the right choice for you.
Is excess weight affecting your health? Have you decided to do something about it? The Weight Management Program at Consultants in Surgery at Cheyenne Regional Medical Group can help improve the health and well-being of people who are overweight and struggling with diabetes, hypertension, high cholesterol, and sleep apnea. Why wait? The time is now. To see if weight loss surgery is right for you, call 307-632-1114 or visit CheyenneRegional.org/weight-loss.
Fish and shrimp are back. They're back. They're back at Taco John's. Come get them by the sack. Because they won't last long. Hooray! Hooray! Crispy fish tacos, popcorn shrimp street tacos too. Hurry to Taco John's because they're back. It's true. Hooray! For fish and shrimp, hurry today. Hooray! For Taco John's, come eat them every day.
Here's here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
For tonight, it'll be mostly sunny with highs around 55 and winds out of the north at 25 to 30 miles per hour. For tonight, it'll be partly cloudy with lows around 34 and winds out of the north at 15 to 20 miles per hour. On Friday, it'll be sunny with highs around 70, and on Friday night, it'll be mostly clear with lows around 41.
Fat, lazy, and stupid is no way to conduct a sports talk radio show. We've thrown down the gauntlet, upped the stakes, and made it clear that when it comes to sports talk radio in Cheyenne, there's a new player in town. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today, and it's only here on AM 1480 KRAE.
Larry Proetti along with Nick Proetti. It is Wyoming Sports Talk Today, Thursday afternoon. We get to bring on the second half of the coaching staff from LCCC, the ladies' side, head coach Brian Ortmeier. Brian, good to see you again. We haven't talked since about March. Real quick here before we get into hoops. And I had that opportunity, and really nice folks. Got to meet your parents. Mm-hmm. They always were commenting on the Hawaiian shirts I was wearing, but I know they are big Red fans. Are they ones that will go to Lincoln to see the spring game?
Actually, no. They watched it on TV. I watched it on TV. I did have my younger brother. One of them was at the game. I don't think my other twin brother, my younger brothers are twins, so one went to the game, one didn't. They actually are season ticket holders, though, for Nebraska basketball, so they get down there quite a bit. It always helps when the teams are doing well, but they didn't get tickets for the spring game this year. I can tell you, I definitely would if I lived a little closer.
I just had a feeling. They are true.
They are.
Use the word true blue. They're true Red fans,
yes,
just like yourself.
Yes.
Yeah, but they're a fan of yours as well. I'm assuming if Nebraska's in the national tournament and LCCC women's basketball makes it a national tournament, I hope they're not going, how do we make this
work?
We'll
see. I was going to say it may come down to a coin flip at that point.
Anyway, let's get into basketball talk. Real quick, with the success that the Wyoming Cowgirls had, getting into the Elite Eight in the WNIT, you making it into the Region 9 tournament, how does that help, if it does help, as you're out on the recruiting trail? And I know you were out soon as the season was over. You were out at high school, and you were looking at other various camps, so to speak.
Sure.
Does that help our region a little bit with the success just over in Laramie and the little success that we had here?
Yeah, it definitely brings a lot more attention to the area. I think just across the board for our region, you can see it should hopefully on the national level start getting more respect. You look at some of the athletes and where they signed. I know Western Wyoming had an athlete signed with Liberty. Obviously, Casper had Jay Johnson signs with Wyoming. Sheridan, they actually had an offer on the table for Portima at UW. So it's a strong league, and I think on the national level that's going to help us in terms of getting teams hopefully for at large bids in the future for the tournament. From a recruiting standpoint too, just when you're able to show that success and that we've slowly kind of we're creeping up the ladder, it definitely makes it easier when you sit down and talk to a recruit as opposed to going the opposite direction where you're trying to sell something that last year we were 19-12 and then all of a sudden we were 6-24. We're definitely heading in the right direction. So being able to show that success, it's helped recruiting, and I know it's definitely paid off in this cycle.
What have you learned in your 3 seasons now with the LCCC basketball program? I mean, again, you've had the opportunity to coach in the Colorado area, but again, Region 9, South and North, and again, took a couple seasons with the South this year in the North. What have you learned from this Region 9 basketball?
I think the biggest adjustment going, and more even so, sub-region to sub-region, going from South to North, you kind of forget about how big the North is. The South, I would say, is a very guard-oriented region. You're going to get teams that want to score with you in the 70s, 80s. They want to push the tempo. You switch up to the north, Gillette's a high-low team, Sheridan's a high-low team, Casper's a high-low team. Eastern's a little more run and gun, but again, you look at their post player this year, she's 6'2", the foreign kid they had. So it's a bigger league across the board, and I would say that's the one thing when I was at Colorado Northwestern, we had a big team. We were, that second year I was there, we were 6'2", 6'1", 6'1", 6 foot, 5'10", 5'11", and that was at the 3, 4, 5 spots. So we competed really well against your Gillettes and Sheridans at that point, and Casper when we scrimmaged them. We just, I'd say that's the one thing I've learned. We've got to just get a little bigger, better rebounding, be able to control that post game much better, especially going into next year.
But it's fair to say for Region 9, where we talked with Fika yesterday about the men's side of thing, where it's pretty much, especially on the north side, it's dominated by the Sheridans of the world, the Caspers, those kind of predominant organizations, or at least programs that just know how to reload and just be well every single year. But it seems on the women's side, especially the 2 years that we've been a part of LCCC, is, even with your team, Brian, it's you got a shot, though. Even if you were undersized, you still can compete with Casper. You still can compete with the Western Nebraska, whoever it might be throughout the Region 9 and North or in South. You have a shot at beating any team, though.
Sure. And, in one conversation we've had already with our freshmen coming back, and even with kids that we're starting to recruit to hopefully finalize our classes, our next step hopefully is semifinals championship. So you're exactly right in saying that we can definitely compete with a lot of the programs that we see in our conference. So, that's an exciting thing. It also continues to add a little pressure. But, again, I always say that's what you want. You want to be in those situations where you're talking about those things, semifinals, championship games. And, again, it's close. Even if you look at this last tournament, we lose out in the first round, 8-10 points. The next game is decided by 2. Championship games decided by 5. So we're not far off. Again, a lot of those teams you talked about, we competed really well against. So again, we're getting there. Not quite there yet, but again, we're knocking at the door.
We heard from Jason Fika during the season. Matter of fact, I think it was the loss against Sheridan where they needed to get bigger, stronger, faster. Heard Alan Edwards say that yesterday as well. They need to get bigger, stronger, and faster. I'm sure you're going to, make it the trifecta here that you need to be bigger, stronger, and faster.
Sure. And, if everything kind of falls into place and goes according to kind of how I've got it laid out, there's an outside chance Jakia Wells could be a small forward next year. She could be playing the 3 for us. So, we've already signed a guard who's 5'8". We've got a power forward coming in who's 5'10", 5'11"-ish. We got a commitment from a 6'1" girl out of Utah who averaged 15 and 11 last year in 6A. Again, another point guard is just tough as nails. She's about 5'7", 5'8", played some rugby on the side. So, we're looking for toughness. We're looking for rebounding. We're looking for some kids that can protect the rim. And, again, we're still waiting on some visits from, at least another 6-footer hopefully coming in next week, and then we're still waiting on another kid who's 6'1". So, again, same thing. You definitely have to be able to kind of hold your own down there.
Definitely want to ask you, as here we are in April, March Madness is wrapped up, both on NJCAA ranks and also to NCAA. You look at Division I, Gulf Coast State is your champion. Baylor, the Lady Bears are your champions there in Division I of NCAA. Happen to watch any of those contests, see those teams, and kind of pull any possible, at least, insight from watching those teams of maybe we could add this to LCCC for next season?
Sure. That Florida League, it's at a very, very different level. There's a good chance any given year that, they could possibly send 5 to 7 athletes on to play high-level major D1 basketball. So I think from a scholarship standpoint, they do things a little different. But I think from a schematic standpoint, watching a lot of the finals games, Oregon's a team I paid a lot of attention to this year, so it was good to see them in the Final Four. And just, again, kind of what type of players they're trying to put into their system, watching their spacing, their cutting, what types of things are they trying to do to slow down some of these other, outstanding athletes, whether it's the guard from Notre Dame or, again, the Samuelson from UConn. How are they trying to adjust and how are they trying to slow those kids down? So there's things that you can pick up. You always try to keep that notepad close by so you can jot down some notes, and, you can definitely learn a lot.
Well, one thing that's consistent, and I saw this now in 2 seasons with your team, whether it's good, bad, and different, is good transition. And again, the teams that Nick mentioned, you mentioned, very good with transition.
Yeah, and, again, that's something that we try to find in our 4s and 5s too. We don't want to get stuck in a spot where we want to stay faster with transition. Maybe we get against a quicker team, and then we've got 2 kids lagging down the court that can't keep up. So, again, the kids that I'm talking about that we're looking at for next season to bring in, still very athletic, can get up and down the floor. And, again, if you can take advantage of that and get a couple layups at those spots and again, and another guy I like to watch. I like to see what, and it just so happens he's at Nebraska now, but Fred Hoiberg, he talks a lot about trying to set a quick ball screen in transition, something that I think we'll be able to utilize a lot more next year before the defense gets back, is quicker ball screen, attack him into the paint, and see if we can set up some of our outside shooters.
We're talking with Brian Ortmeier, head coach of the LCCC Lady Golden Eagles. Go ahead, Nick.
Focusing on for next season, and something we asked Ficka yesterday, we'll ask you as well, Brian, but, this offseason where Coach Jason Ficka is trying to at least address of that speed, that size, where, hey, let's hit the weight room, let's do some not so much basketball drills, but focus on running and all that. But, with your current freshmen that are still, at least hopefully, again, as we want to be selfish and retain those players, hopefully they don't move on and stick with LCCC. But is that something you're addressing as well in the offseason with your current freshmen of let's hit the weights, let's get you running out there when there is good weather, or at least taking advantage of the indoor facilities there at LCCC. What have you been addressing so far?
It's been a little bit of a balance. We've been trying to get into the gym a lot with individual workouts, at least 2, sometimes 3 times a week. We've been hitting the weight room on the regular, so we've been getting in the weight room 3-4 times a week as well, just staying within the 8 hours that were allotted by the NJCAA. So that's been a big focus. And then I think also just, again, hitting the books, making sure that they're taking care of business academically. It's hard to believe that we're sitting here 4 weeks away from commencement, so not a lot of time if you're struggling in a class to catch up and make that up. So we've tried to find that balance that, we're not pulling them from the classroom too much since we don't play a game till November. So, again, we're just trying to keep it so, again, they're getting in the classroom, they're taking care of that first. But then, again, we're also trying to work on some of that skill stuff so we can iron out some things. And we're kind of more or less going through some of our summer workouts so they understand what they've got to do once they get out of school.
Being a head coach of the basketball program at LCCC, you're not really an instructor professor, so to speak. How do you keep up with those freshmen? How do you keep up with their grades? Do the profs come to you? Do you have insight onto the computer to punch up so-and-so that see what they're doing grade-wise?
Sure. Every coach does it a little different. I've seen grade sheets that we'll do up at the school for the athletic department. We'll also do, again, I've seen coaches actually physically go through their syllabus with them every week, so they're keeping track of, I see this test is coming up. I'll try to meet with them, especially right now, this time of the year, at least once a week, so we're sitting down talking about tests coming up. If you're struggling in this class, do you need to get a tutor? Just little things that we can do to help them hopefully be successful in the classroom. So, I'd say first part of the semester, once every 2 weeks, and now we're kind of getting to that point where it's once a week. And if we have somebody really struggling, we'll try to meet with them almost every day.
We'll take a timeout. We'll come back. We will chat with Brian Ortmeier, head coach of the Lady Golden Eagles, after these words here on 1480 KRAE. Join in for a festive evening of fun, food, and live auction in Cheyenne on Monday, May 6th at the historic Little Bear Inn, which is sponsoring the Love Never Forgets Gala to benefit the Wyoming chapter of the Alzheimer's Association. The event is being held to support the services provided on behalf of the nearly 30,000 Wyomingites affected by this relentless form of dementia. For more information, call the Alzheimer's chapter at 316-2892. That's 316-2892. Or visit First Tier Bank at 1508 Stillwater Avenue for your tickets. Remember, at First Tier Bank, you'll find the best rate on a 27-month CD with a 3.10% annual percentage yield. Chick-fil-A is a proud supporter of our high school athletes at East, Central, and South. May the school year bring success to all of you. Before you start your day, stop by Chick-fil-A for a hearty, delicious, and satisfying breakfast. Only at Windmill and Del Range. Breakfast is served Monday through Saturday from 6 in the morning till 10:30 a.m. Breakfast with Chick-fil-A, the most important meal of the day at Windmill and Del Range. Right now it's time to head over to Jolly Rogers RV Sales, Parts, and Service for low prices on outstanding RVs in Wyoming. Your local, exclusive Jayco dealer wants you to check out their closeout deals as well as their 2019 inventory of trailers, fifth wheels, and toy haulers. You can save up to 30% on select models with approved credit. You can find them at 6102 East Highway 30. Jolly Rogers RV Sales, Parts, and Service is a proud sponsor of LCCC men's and women's basketball, also our local high school teams too.
We're starting our 14th year, and we still believe in putting you first by making it easy to own a new Kia vehicle. I'm AJ Miller for Kia of Cheyenne, and right now, we can help get you into a new 2019 Kia Sportage for less than Honda CR-V, Toyota RAV4, or Ford Escape. The 2019 Kia Sportage comes standard with power-adjustable rear-view mirrors, rear camera display, remote keyless entry, and more. Come into Kia of Cheyenne, call 775-0123, or go to kiaofcheyenne.com. We'll make it easy.
At Medicap Pharmacy, we concentrate on nothing but your medications and your health. Each location is a locally owned full-service neighborhood pharmacy. We won't make you walk through aisles and aisles of stuff or wait in a long line. Instead, we'll always make time for you by listening, answering your questions, and explaining your prescriptions.
Medicap Pharmacy. We'll always make time for you.
Medicap Pharmacy, 1947 Bluegrass Circle, next to Texas Roadhouse in Cheyenne. Or call 635-3712.
When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think authentic Italian. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think made fresh from scratch. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think great pizza, delicious Philly cheesesteak, superb hot and cold Italian sandwiches, meatballs, sausage, and special subs, calzones, crisp salads, and great service. When you say Mondello's Pizzeria, think unmatched Italian taste. Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, your only true Italian stop for lunch or dinner.
1480 KRAE is your home for live play-by-play coverage of high school basketball and football. Hi, this is Nick Brody inviting you to hear all the play-by-play calls of East, Central, and South football and basketball. You'll hear the conference action along with the postseason, and during the basketball season, 1480 KRAE features both boys and girls games. Catch all the exciting calls on AM 1480 KRAE, also streaming the games worldwide on the web at 1480KRAE.com.
Did you know that in rural areas of Laramie County, electricity is reliable and affordable because of High West Energy? Based in Pine Bluffs, High West Energy is an electric co-op owned by the 10,000 customers we serve, and that includes F.U. Warren Air Force Base and 20 subdivisions around Cheyenne. For more than 75 years, High West has been proud to play a part in the steady growth and economic development of this region while also contributing to local nonprofits, charities, and civic organizations.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
For tonight, it'll be mostly sunny with highs around 55 and winds out of the north at 25 to 30 miles per hour. For tonight, it'll be partly cloudy with lows around 34 and winds out of the north at 15 to 20 miles per hour. On Friday, it'll be sunny with highs around 70, and on Friday night, it'll be mostly clear with lows around 41.
We're taking Cheyenne, Wyoming Sports Talk Radio to a whole new level. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
Don't look at me. I think these people are completely nuts.
Stop this crazy thing!
And it's only here on AM 1480 KRAE.
We continue our conversation with LCCC head coach Brian Ortmeier. Coach, I mentioned this yesterday to Jason Ficka, and again, I look at all of the collegiate programs, D1, D2, NAIA, and of course, and then you come on down to the JUCO side, and I was impressed to hear that you picked up a kid that is a 6A player from Utah. And again, you're all vying for that freshman to come to your institution. How hard is it to sell LCCC to an incoming freshman? Or do you, again, are you the one that says, okay, well, they're not the 5A, 6A kid or a 5-star recruit, we'll take the hand-me-downs? I mean, how do you guys compete?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think with, obviously with recruiting, every kid's going to have a little different recruitment. When we recruited even Haley Anderson last year, who's turned out to be a spectacular player for our program, she was a kid looking to just get out of the state of Utah. She had been recruited by Snow. I want to say USU Eastern, who has a pretty good program out there as well. A lot of those top JUCO programs in Utah were looking at her and just wanted to try something different, just wanted to get out of state. So, if you get into a situation like that, then you got to make sure that, when you get that kid on campus, you get them familiar with your team, your program, and you want them to see if they get a good feel for it too. Just, is this going to be a good fit for me? Even if I don't have basketball, is this just a good fit academically? Does it feel like home? So, those are things that I'll talk about when kids come on a recruiting trip. But you're right. I mean, it's one of those things where you've really got to battle tooth and nail. A kid that we were looking at from Denver signed with Iowa Western today, who again has brand new facilities across the board. Most likely received a full ride scholarship from them. And so you're going to run into different situations where sometimes you kind of luck out. Sometimes you just, because you put in the work with the recruitment of a player, you end up signing them. And sometimes, again, they get snatched away from you at the last second and it doesn't work out.
So basically it's just be aggressive, but
sure.
And also too, don't get discouraged, but just kind of focus on and let the chips lie, so to speak, of, okay, yeah, you're being recruited by Snow, you're being recruited by these other top tier schools, but hey, you build a special relationship with them, talk with them, and just, hopefully that they believe in your system and go, yeah, sure. LCCC is that fit for you.
Sure, and there's in every recruiting cycle, especially at our level, is going to be so different just because we do graduate so many kids year in and year out. So you may have one cycle where you graduate 3 post players. You need somebody that can step in and play right away and be a factor. So, again, that's something that it can definitely impact recruiting, is just based on need as well.
I think of Zaire Mateen, who got to play as a freshman at LCCC. Then again, Northern Illinois snatches him up. He's one of those players that was eligible to go and play there. But pretty much his sophomore year did not play because the guard in front of him, much better, and again, a possible NBA talent. Mm-hmm. In your situation, is a selling point as well when you talk to these young ladies to come to LCCC, hey, as a freshman, very good possibility you're going to get more playing time than you do at a 4-year school. Because, again, I would think a lot of the young ladies that are freshmen, very rarely are any of them getting any quality minutes, in the D1 schools or even D2 schools.
Yeah, and a lot of times when they do step into a situation like that as a freshman, if you're extremely talented and you're getting to play right away, you're probably stepping into a situation where the team's winning 2 to 5 games a year. So, there's a specific reason as to why you're stepping in so quickly as a freshman. You'd be surprised how many kids that we'll talk to that are specifically looking for junior college because they don't want to have to sit and basically watch basketball for 2-3 years. So I would say it's definitely a selling point for a 2-year school. But, again, there's a lot of kids that actually pursue that out just so they don't have to sit. They can actually hopefully jump in and again, get that opportunity right away.
You have 5 young ladies that are leaving the program this year, and one's a redshirt freshman, so technically she could play another year at LCCC if she wanted to. Let's talk about your 3 starters, and then again, you also had Jessica Stoner and Kylie Milan that came off the bench for you. But we look at Courtney Walker, we look at Gabby O'Connor, and Carly O'Brien, your 3 starters. Where are they at in the mix? Because obviously, do they want to go to that next level, or are they being recruited to the next level?
Sure. I would say Gabby's probably getting the heaviest recruitment just based out of the 5. With her skill set, being able to defend, shoot the basketball, great handles with the right and left hand. So she's been drawing a lot of great D2 interest. I know she has a full ride from a D2 in Kansas. She's looking at a couple schools in Colorado, a couple D2s. So she's in the process of taking some visits. She also kind of had some D1s that were checking in on her. I think her height hurt her just a little bit, and that's just part, like you said, everything's, coaches are looking for bigger, stronger, faster. So I think her height kind of limited her recruitment a little bit just in terms of Division I. So, but she's probably getting the most interest. Carly right now is looking at finishing her degree her BSN at LCCC. So, again, whether she delays her recruitment and tries to step out after she finishes that process or just, again, steps out into the workforce, again, I really commend that direction just based on the fact that she's focusing in on her career and what she's going to be doing for the next 30, 40 years. So, again, she seems like she's got a good path. And Courtney, she wants to play. She's still kind of working her way through the recruiting process, and we'll kind of see what shakes out. So, again, hopefully we get a couple of these girls signed yet. And, again, with the late period, a lot of times what you'll see is if teams didn't quite get what they were looking for in the late period, with signing day being yesterday, you're going to see it really pick up for a lot of them.
How much do you play a role in that, at least, recruitment process?
Sure.
Is it something where kind of handhold them, so to speak, or is it kind of give them suggestions of, well, maybe that's not the best fit for you and your play style. How about take a look at this one? I mean, how much of a role do you play in that recruitment?
Sure. We try to help as much as possible. So, again, I've put together highlight tapes for them, and again, I've got a document, like a database, that has essentially every D3, every NAI, every D2, every D1 coach in the country. So I went ahead and put together a sheet with all of them and their information and sent it out to everybody that was available. So, again, we've got their information out there. We try to make some phone calls to some coaches that we know as well, saying, hey, check this kid out. And then, again, we get a lot of phone calls too. And, again, there's a couple I've actually got to get back to today. So, again, there's just constant communication. And again, if it seems like a great opportunity, I'm making sure that I can pass it along to them as quick as possible.
Does it help the process for these young ladies to third-year program?
Mm-hmm.
You've taken it from 11 wins to 19 wins, and you get to the Region 9 tournament this year.
Sure.
Unfortunately, you lose to Northeastern in the quarterfinals. But does that open up more eyes from coaches in the D2 and even D1 ranks?
It does. Again, just getting your players out in front of more eyes makes a big difference. I know just based on going to the Jamboree in Kansas out in Lawrence, it made a big difference this year. And then also being able to go down to Power to Play in Windsor and being able to go to that Jamboree as well. So, again, that's another 150 to 200 some coaches that are sitting there watching your players get up and down the court. And just having that opportunity, it definitely makes a big difference.
You have Jessica that's at 5'9". You have Kylie at 6'1",
Yep.
who started early in the season. Then they became role players towards the end of the year. And again, at 6'1", a lot of colleges would be interested in just the height. And again, you look at Kylie; she's got a good mid-range jump shot with her. And again, if she bulks up a little bit, I guess that would be more into the weight room and becomes that bigger, stronger kid. Are there schools maybe in the Colorado area that might be looking at her?
Sure. There's been a lot of D3 and NAI schools. So that's kind of been the typical schools that have reached out or have sent a message saying, hey, can you forward this information on, or what's their situation? Are they looking to play? And again, it comes down to how interested is the student athlete of playing at that level. But I know for both of them, they definitely have some opportunities. It's just, again, whether they want to pursue that or not.
Going back to at least opportunities for LCCC, what happened in the Region 9 tournament, at least a lot of historic firsts for this program this past season. But, we talk with men's soccer, women's soccer, their opportunities, and obviously they have a little bit more leniency to at least travel across the nation. But, for basketball, has that opened up other opportunities, other schools, whether it's in Texas rank, down in Florida, like a Gulf Coast state or something like that? Is kind of talk to you, coaches, saying, hey, we'd like to play. Come on down, or we'd like to come up to the city of Cheyenne and compete against LCCC. Has that kind of opened up possibilities as you're trying to set up the schedule for 2019-2020?
Yeah, and it's always kind of random. I mean, you may get an email from a coach in Texas, or I think I got 2 or 3 from Arizona this year. So right now on the schedule, I've got it planned that we'll make a trip coming out of Christmas break to Phoenix to play a couple games, just to kind of get us back in shape for region play. So again, in our 3 years, we really haven't taken a long trip. I think Price, Utah might be the furthest trip that we've taken. So again, we were looking at maybe doing something a little different this year just to mix it up. Again, you always kind of get the usual teams that reach out and say, hey, you want to come play in our classic? And you do get tired of going to some of the same places or, places that you've already been before. So, again, it's nice to kind of try something a little different, and that's one that we're looking at.
When's that date again for Phoenix, Arizona, so we can just mark that down?
Pick us.
Yeah, very, very early January.
Pick us on that one. Yeah, we'll definitely leave those dates.
We don't
off.
have anything for Christmas. We can do that.
Coach, let me ask you this. With the graduation of the sophomores, and again, with Gabby leaving as a redshirt freshman, you will have the team built around Haley along with Jakia. And then again, you had some kids that got some minutes that came in off the bench for you. And we were talking just before we got on the air. So Raven Allen, who had an Achilles injury at the beginning of during practice before we even got to the season. And you weren't even sure if she was going to be able to play anymore, but she's been given the go-ahead. Does she come in, step in, and take over where Gabby left off?
Sure. It's that's hard to say. It's, again, she's 2 weeks since being cleared. So again, we'll have to kind of see how she does in these last 2 weeks of the off season, how she progresses over the summer, and then again how she looks once she gets back to campus. So, and
the reason I'm asking this is because you got holes to fill. You got a defensive expert in Courtney. You got to replace. You got Carly O'Brien, who took one for the team like every quarter, and then you got Gabby O'Connor, who can launch it from from the stands to hit a 3-pointer for you. So I mean, you got holes to fill. And that's why I'm bringing up is a Raven Allen ready to step in. She's watched all season long. She knows what's expected when she steps onto the court.
Sure. It's, and that's, again, it's once we have everybody together, we're really going to be able to figure out who can fill what role. I mean, we may even get to a position where, again, offensively you change things just to fit things better. So I would say, Raven's definitely one of the candidates that could step in to fill one of those spots. Anytime you're going to be looking at a guard position, Robbie Johnson coming back, Ariel Stevenson's another kid who, came off the bench for us and could definitely provide that spark. I think they all have a little different skill sets compared to what Gabby had. So, whether it's a player that's coming back from this year or, again, it's one of our incoming freshmen, I think we definitely have some kids that can step in and fill that spot. Carly Mathern coming out of Windsor High School was a 16-6 type player, 16 points, 6 rebounds type player. Kaysen Hobbs last year out of Fossil Ridge. She led the state of Colorado in charges taken. So, again, there's specific things I was looking for with these, especially with our recruiting class, in terms of some toughness and defense. And I think that's one thing that I don't think I've ever seen with the recruiting class so far, is that every single one of them I saw take a charge in an all-star game, which isn't very typical. So that's just kind of their mindset. They just have a little different mindset on that side of the court. And then, again, they're all very aggressive in terms of attacking the basket. So hopefully, again, if we can't quite replace one of those players, hopefully we can throw multiple out there that can at least kind of contribute and combine to do the same thing.
A couple more questions for me, and then we'll definitely let you go because I know you got other things to do. You got phone calls to answer, so to speak.
Yeah.
Looking at your goals since you've taken over day one as the head coach, and it seems like you have taken that stair climb one at a time. What is next for the LCCC women's basketball team, you personally?
Sure. I think realistically we want to put ourselves in that number one spot for the sub-region next year. Casper returns a lot. Eastern's going to have kind of a new look. Sheridan brings quite a bit back. But, again, if we can kind of put ourselves in that top 3 situation and give ourselves a run at the 1 seed in the sub-region, that idealistic, I mean, that's an ideal goal for us. And again, that's what we talk about with the team is seeing if we can make a push there and seeing if we can break through into the semis in the championship game. So very high expectations, but that's, again, that's where we want to be.
Is that something that you express to the freshmen, at least in the offseason, of saying, hey, this is where I want the team to be at, here's where we were, but not to put a little too much pressure on them, saying, hey, I just want this, and I think we can achieve that.
Well, and it's a conversation we had yesterday in one of our workouts, is that if you want to take that next step, what you did this year is good enough to get you to the quarters. So we've got to do more in our off season to see if we can push to break through that next door. And again, it's all about giving a little more, a couple more reps here in the weight room, a couple more reps getting shots up. And you've got to find ways to, like I said, you got to break through that next door.
Final thought before we let you go, and we brought this up to Coach Ficca yesterday. Of course, he got the dates wrong. I was right on the dates, but it will be here before you know it. And I know you still have, you got to put some I's and T's together for your final recruiting performance. But you got a very special camp that you're going to be putting on along with the guys this year. And this is going to be a pretty doggone good camp for LCCC ladies coming to this camp.
Sure. And, again, this summer, June 24th through June 27th, we're going to have a kids camp. So, again, our first session is going to run in the morning. So because of the two age groups and the facility that we have, we're going to, again, in the morning, we're going to have the girls ages 6 through 9 down in the NPR building so we can lower the hoops down. Gives them an opportunity to be able to shoot the ball up and get it in the basket a little easier that way. Once we switch to the afternoon, that's when we'll have the girls ages 10 through 13 in the main gym, and then the guys will go down to the NPR, again, for 3 hours. Just a wide array of things. And the really cool opportunity with it is it lines up with our NJCAA change with the legislation where we can practice on campus in the summer. So again, if young girls in the community sign up to come to the camp, they're going to get a chance to be there with our incoming freshmen and some of our returners at the college level, so they'll get a chance to work out with them, learn some of the skill work from them, whether it's ball handling, shooting, some defensive drills. And then again, just depending on the time that we have remaining, some different games and some different games, but also maybe just a little bit of scrimmaging for some of the upper level players as well. So just kind of a big mix, but it should be a lot of fun.
And again, to find more information on that, go LCCC.com. You go under the menu section to camps, find the basketball summer camp. And again, more information is there, but also you can call LCCC as well, area code 307-778-1373. Or they can contact you, Brian, as well, too, at your oddball kind of email as well. I think they leave off the R at the end for whatever reason. So it's Ortmeier without the at least BORTMEIE at LCCC.wy.edu.
Sure. And if you accidentally type in the R, it still works. It actually
does.
Yeah, you can actually send it to both.
All righty, Coach. Well, thank you so much. Enjoy the summer, as it'll be coming up here hopefully for you in about a month and a half. Mm-hmm. And again, we want to thank you for everything that you've done for us here on 1480 KRAE.
All right, thank you.
All right, we're going to be back after this timeout. We got a little bit more to talk about here on 1480 KRAE.
Are you tired of paying ATM fees? Hi, this is Rick Flood, president of Platte Valley Bank in Cheyenne. Use your Platte Valley Bank ATM or Visa debit card at any ATM anywhere. We won't charge you a fee on our end, and we'll reimburse any fee you incur at any other ATM. That's right, no ATM fees at Platte Valley Bank. How about that? Platte Valley Bank, 3310 North College Drive and 421 Vandehigh Avenue, or pvbank.com. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Community banking for you.
Is excess weight affecting your health? Have you decided to do something about it? The Weight Management Program at Consultants in Surgery at Cheyenne Regional Medical Group can help improve the health and well-being of people who are overweight and struggling with diabetes, hypertension, high cholesterol, and sleep apnea. Why wait? The time is now. To see if weight loss surgery is right for you, call 307-632-1114 or visit CheyenneRegional.org/weight-loss.
Taco John's presents Olay the Day Pep Talks.
Last play of the game, boys. Now they're expecting us to either run it or pass it. So instead, we're gonna do both. Like the new quesadilla taco at Taco John's. It's both a taco and a cheesy quesadilla. Taco and quesadilla. It's the perfect call.
Try Taco John's cheesy new quesadilla tacos stuffed with sirloin steak, chipotle chicken, pork carnitas, or classic beef.
Let's go quesadilla taco our way to victory.
Olay the Day at Taco John's.
Chick-fil-A is a proud supporter of our high school athletes at East, Central, and South. May the school year bring success to all of you. Before you start your day, stop by Chick-fil-A for a hearty, delicious, and satisfying breakfast. Only at Windmill and Del Range. Breakfast is served Monday through Saturday from 6 in the morning till 10:30 a.m. Breakfast with Chick-fil-A, the most important meal of the day, at Windmill and Del Range. Right now it's time to head over to Jolly Rogers RV Sales, Parts, and Service for low prices on outstanding RVs in Wyoming. Your local, exclusive Jayco dealer wants you to check out their closeout deals as well as their 2019 inventory of trailers, fifth wheels, and toy haulers. You can save up to 30% on select models with approved credit. You can find them at 6102 East Highway 30. Jolly Rogers RV Sales, Parts, and Service is a proud sponsor of LCCC men's and women's basketball, also our local high school teams too. Join in for a festive evening of fun, food, and live auction in Cheyenne on Monday, May 6th at the historic Little Bear Inn, which is sponsoring the Love Never Forgets Gala to benefit the Wyoming chapter of the Alzheimer's Association. The event is being held to support the services provided on behalf of the nearly 30,000 Wyomingites affected by this relentless form of dementia. For more information, call the Alzheimer's chapter at 316-2892. That's 316-2892. Or visit First Tier Bank at 1508 Stillwater Avenue for your tickets. Remember, at First Tier Bank, you'll find the best rate on a 27-month CD with a 3.10% annual percentage yield.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
For tonight, it'll be mostly sunny with highs around 55 and winds out of the north at 25 to 30 miles per hour. For tonight, it'll be partly cloudy with lows around 34 and winds out of the north at 15 to 20 miles per hour. On Friday, it'll be sunny with highs around 70, and on Friday night, it'll be mostly clear with lows around 41.
Fat, lazy, and stupid is no way to conduct a sports talk radio show. We've thrown down the gauntlet, upped the stakes, and made it clear that when it comes to sports talk radio in Cheyenne, there's a new player in town. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today, and it's only here on AM 1480 KRAE.
Yeah, I kind of felt like the first period was a lot like the game one in Calgary for us, where we did a lot of good things on the defensive side of the puck. Didn't give up a lot of chances in the first period. You know, most of our shots were from the perimeter. Just didn't have our ozone mojo going. You know, we weren't willing to skate with the puck and hang on to the puck as much as we had in game 2 and 3. And, you know, I was disappointed with our first 10 in the second. I thought that was when they poured it on us. We got some big saves from Gruby. We fell behind. But right around the 10-minute mark there, we had a little chat on the bench, and our guys really dug in. And the Comfort, Calvert, and Nieto line got us started with a big shift. The crowd got into it, and our guys started to roll a little bit. I thought we were really good from then on. Huge penalty kill, obviously, in overtime, and huge power play goal at the end of the game to push it to overtime.
As far as Nico's concerned, I mean, it's 6 points in the last 3 games now. I mean, how would you describe what you've seen from him going from that first game where it looked like he kind of struggled to find himself, whereas the last 3, between him and Nathan, it seems like they've been your best forwards?
Yeah, he was rusty game 1. I mean, that's going to happen when you miss that amount of time. I really felt, though, late in the game, game 1, you know, there was a handful of shifts he put together where I started to see his game real strong on the puck, moving his feet, making plays. And I feel like he's gradually gotten better. And tonight, when I put him back with Mac and Landy, they were real good. And obviously, the release he had on his goal the other night, and tonight it's on and off his tape, lightning fast, and it's finding the back of the net. So, I mean, he's playing really well right now. Our top guys they're impact players right now for us almost every shift, and that's who we need him to be.
And going back to his shot, I mean, of course, he's known as a creator, but when you think about the way he shoots like he did tonight, I mean, what kind of dimension does that give him to know that he's lethal in so many ways?
Well, I mean, that's the thing. If he catches you leaning the wrong way or off balance, he has the ability to skate by you or around you and use his strength. And he's also got silky enough hands that he can play through you. But we're encouraging our guys. You get in the scoring areas, you get inside the dots. You know, don't overpass it. They do a really good job packing it in front of their net, and their sticks are real active and good, and they track back hard into the middle of the ice. So you don't want to overpass it when you get the opportunity to get inside the dots and get in the scoring area. Whether you're using whether we can get there for a screen or not, you got to try to use their team as a screen sometimes too.
Your one win for advancing, how hard is that going to be?
Well, it's going to be hard. It's the hardest one. Everyone knows that the last one, the one you're trying to get to close out a series, is the hardest one. It's a proud team over there in Calgary. It's a really good team. They got a lot of character. They're well coached. I mean, it's tough. And now we got to go into Calgary and find a way to win another hockey game.
Even when you're down 0-2, what have you seen from the
Well, the last 10 minutes of the second for me. We had multiple scoring chances. Smith made some big saves. We had a couple breakdowns, pressing a little bit too hard. So we wanted to make sure that we kept forechecking and stay on the hunt up ice and turn pucks over and get a little more physical and get using our legs. But we had to make sure that, you know, we were fighting above pucks in all situations so our D could stand up and help, and we did a good job of it in the third.
Home ice.
Totally. I mean, again, once our fans got going, once we gave them something to cheer about halfway through the second period, they were amazing. And I mean, our guys just feed off. You could tell they're just excited. They're dying to get on the ice and go. And, you know, we shortened our bench up a little bit, but everyone seemed energized. We had lots of juice.
Grubauer said he didn't like the 2 goals that he gave up, but he gave up obviously a huge save.
Huge save. That sequence off his pad a couple times, he has to pick his pad up. The first goal hits our D-man. You know, it looks like a harmless point shot, or the power play goal where they dumped it back and he shot it right to the net. I think it got a piece of Nemeth and changed direction, then it caught a piece of Grubauer. So I don't know if he saw it coming through there. And the second one, our coverage was great. We had a chance to get the puck out of a D-zone coverage breakout. We weren't watching the puck. It stayed in, and we didn't get in the shooting lane up top, and we lost the guy in front of the net, so they got a second whack at it. You know, he was in position to make the saves, just couldn't come up with it. But, you know, we got to do a better job in front of him in both of those instances.
Jared, was there a point in this season where you knew that your team was capable of doing what they've done over the last couple nights, fighting back from behind?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's same as our game. You know, you watch us come out of the gate at 17-7, and there's so much promise there and so much hunger, and just the way we played the game, highly committed, with something to prove. And I kind of felt like mid-season some of that went away. We wanted it to be easier than what it was, but when we dug in again at the end of the year and basically finished 17-7 again with a 8-0-2 run, we won games in a bunch of different ways. We were willing to win and capable of winning the 1-0 game. We were getting out to early starts and putting teams away, and we were coming back from behind. So that's always a good sign when you're finding different ways to win hockey games and different guys are stepping up. Our commitment level went way up, and now we've tried to carry that on into the playoffs. So when you do that, you're tough to play against.
And welcome back to Wyoming Sports Talk today, as we heard from Jared Bettenauer, the head coach of the Colorado Avalanche. One game away from moving on to the next round of the Stanley Cup playoffs with their win last night in the can. And it was a overtime win, huge win. They're 3 up, 1 down going into the Saddle Dome coming up this weekend.
Yeah. They certainly are. Again, an overtime victory for Colorado Avalanche there at home. And again, have all the momentum in the world. There's no business that Calgary should come back in this, at least in this series. Colorado will absolutely pull off the upset. Does surprise me slightly. Not as much as Columbus of what they did against Tampa Bay, but kudos to the Avalanche right now, the hottest team, along with Columbus right now in the NHL, and proving why that they deserve to be in the playoffs. And they are a dangerous outfit right now here in the Western Conference, and all eyes have to be on the Avs at this point in time, especially what they did last night. Again, this is a team that is showing no quit, no give up, showing all the heart right now, and they're right now. Avs are not the favorite team in the NHL, or at least favored in the West. That there's others above them, but right now they got a lot of looks.
I think the good season is going to come to an end in the next round, but the bottom line is at least they're moving on. They're young, and they're being forceful on the ice. Now, speaking of the Avalanche, we get to talk to the head coach of the Colorado Eagles as we get to the AAA side, the Colorado Eagles head coach, that being Greg Cronin. He'll be joining us here in about 35 minutes or so. So
yeah, that was just added. At least got that passed along. So again, we will talk with him. But before that as well, we will be able to talk with CSU-Pueblo, at least Pueblo Athletic Director, Dr. Paul Plinske. We will get some insight on what's happening down there in the RMAC situation, Division II athletics, where a lot of Region 9 coaches have been heading down south, including one here from Cheyenne, at least at LCCC, one Austin Albers, who is going to be the new head coach for volleyball. Again, Matt Hammer from Sheridan College, the new men's basketball head coach at CSU-Pueblo. So get his thoughts on what's just going on right now with the Thunderwolves down there.
He's been very, very busy since he took over.
Well, he's been busy in this area, scouting a lot of at least folks out here in the state of Wyoming.
All right, we are going to take a timeout. We're going to come back with hour number 2 right here on 1480 KRAE.
This is 1480 KRAE Cheyenne.
Also being heard on translator K266CC Cheyenne at 101.1 FM.
What you are about to hear is a sports talk radio show unlike any other that has ever before been broadcast in the capital city of Cheyenne, Wyoming, USA. This is Cheyenne, Wyoming's Sports Talk Authority. The Wyoming Cowboys, the Denver Broncos, the Colorado Rockies, and the Denver Nuggets. The show is local, it's regional, and yes, the show is national as well. Wyoming Sports Talk Today is on the air. If they're talking sports on the radio in Cheyenne, this is the place it happens. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
Hour number 2 being brought to you by our great friends again, Taco John's of Cheyenne, Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service on Highway 30, Chick-fil-A at the corner of Windmill and Del Range directly across from Menards with 2 convenient drive-thrus, Kia of Cheyenne on Nation Way, Platte Valley Bank ×2 East Side location at the corner of College and Pershing and the original location on Vanda High Avenue. Medicap Pharmacy, same location as per normal, right there on Bluegrass Circle next door to Texas Roadhouse. Lennox Auto Body, 2 locations. The Auto and Truck Repair Center, Dunn Avenue, the Auto Glass and Detail Center over on Pershing Boulevard. First Tier Bank at 1508 Stillwater Avenue, open Monday through Friday, open 7 days a week. Across the street, it's Mondello's Pizzeria at 1507 Stillwater Avenue, Suite D in the Greenway Commons. On the job 24/7, remember that always, it's Mars Plumbing and Heating at 1515 Logan Avenue. And our scoreboard is being brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne with Nick kicking things off.
NHL action for tonight. Carolina Hurricanes at home. They will play host to the Washington Capitals, where the Caps do have the 2-1 series lead in that one. You can see that game on NBC Sports Network. Winnipeg Jets at home. They will take on the St. Louis Blues. You can see that game on USA Network. That series is tied up 2 games apiece. And last but not least, in the Shark Tank, San Jose, California. San Jose Sharks at home. They will take on the Vegas Golden Knights. Vegas has a 3-1 series lead in that outfit, and you can see that game on NBC Sports Network. That's what's happening NHL action for tonight.
Major League Baseball, some matinee performances with the Diamondbacks defeating the Bravos in Cumberland, Georgia, 4-1. It was the Nats over the Giants 4-2 at Nationals Park. The Tigers at Comerica, they beat the White Sox 9-7. Blue Jays over the Twins at Target Field 7-4. Getting underway here in about 30 minutes, it will be the Royals at the Yankees in the Bronx. 5 o'clock hour have the Orioles at the Rays. 6 o'clock hour, Dodgers at the Brewers in Miller Park. Phils and the Rocks will hook up at Coors Field. Zach Efron on the hill for the Philadelphia Phillies. And towing the rubber, getting the call on the bump tonight will be Kyle Freeland for Colorado. 8 o'clock games will have the M's at the Angels in SoCal, and it will be the Padres at Petco. They will entertain the Cincinnati Reds. Our scoreboard is not over yet, as we got the NBA scoreboard to give to you. My apologies as I was trying to move ahead to our next guest. 76ers and the Nets tonight in the Barclays Center. All series here are knotted up at 1 game apiece. Nuggets and the Spurs in the AT&T Center. That'll be around 7 o'clock tonight. 8:30 game. We'll have the Warriors and the Clips at Staples. Our scoreboard brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne.
Yo, this is your cup holder talking. You know me, the little round thing between your car seats.
starting our 14th year and still strive to put you first by making it easy for you to own a new Kia. Right now, we can help get you into a 2019 Kia Sorento comparably equipped for less than Toyota Highlander, Jeep Grand Cherokee, or Ford Edge. The 2019 Kia Sorento comes standard with power heated exterior mirrors, rear camera display, remote keyless entry, and more. Come into Kia of Cheyenne, call 775-0123 or go to kiaofcheyenne.com. We'll make it easy.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
For tonight, it'll be mostly sunny with highs around 55 and winds out of the north at 25 to 30 miles per hour. Then for tonight, it'll be partly cloudy with lows around 34 and winds out of the north at 15 to 20 miles per hour. On Friday, it'll be sunny with highs around 70, and on Friday night, it'll be mostly clear with lows around 41.
Got something to say? Then get it off your chest right now. Phone lines are open at 307-514-1071. Make your opinion count and call the show. Wyoming Sports Talk today.
We are back on Wyoming Sports Talk today, hour number 2. We've got a very special guest that is joining us from Pueblo, Colorado, Dr. Paul Plinske. He is the CSU-Pueblo Athletic Director, the home of the Thunderwolves. And Dr. Paul Plinske, we thank you so much for joining us here on Wyoming Sports Talk today. I guess the first question, even though you've been on the job over a year now in Pueblo, and I'm noticing from your resume, we see that you're moving further and further west. What was the attraction to CSU Pueblo?
Well, first of all, thanks for having me on the radio, guys. I'm honored to have a chance to talk with you, and you know, I'll tell you, it's kind of been serendipity more than anything. My wife's parents actually live in Estes Park, Colorado, so the move further west has been really seamless and easy for us. But I've really just kind of come here because I saw a tremendous opportunity with President Tim Motet in place, and I knew I wanted to be a part of something special.
You know, when athletic directors are brought into place, they're brought in to, perk up programs, try to bring a winning attitude to the various programs that are on campus. A little bit of your philosophy as you are now sitting in the athletic director's chair, as you have a chance to be in charge of all those athletic events on campus.
Well, this is the third school that I've been at where I've had the opportunity to come in as the new athletic director, and so as I've been familiar at the Division III and then now Division II level, I've had an opportunity to see how cultures are established and you know, how everything kind of functions within the role of a university. And so I feel pretty equipped to be able to do that. But I think you hit the nail on the head. I've come in here with sort of a perky attitude, ready to try to improve things. You know, our former athletic director, his name is Joe Folda, and he was here for over 30 years and did some wonderful things, but I just hope to be able to build on his foundation and be able to bring in some people that I believe in to be able to help us grow and build our programs to be not only champions in the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference, but also be able to compete at the highest level in NCAA Division II athletics.
Well, what sparked onto my radar, especially on the social media ranks, you know, we heard months ago, obviously, local product here out of LCCC for volleyball head coach Austin Albers, leaving LCCC of what he's done here on the JUCO side of building up this program here in town and making it a top 25 nationally ranked program. Now heading down to CSU Pueblo, already making his moves down there for the Thunderwolves, but also too recently discussed, or at least recent hire for men's basketball there at CSU Pueblo was another Region 9 coach, and that being out of Sheridan College, that'd be one Matt Hammer. But that kind of sparked our interest here of that for you, at least, Paul, it's something that you've taking a close eye on Region 9 athletics and seeing what some of these coaches here, especially here in the state of Wyoming, have been doing with their athletics and wanted to be a part of CSU Pueblo.
Well, first of all, let me just share, you know, I have a tremendous respect for Laramie County Community College and Sheridan College, two outstanding institutions who definitely know how to hire the right people. And so, you know, Austin Albers is the first one that you mentioned, and you know, I just think he is an incredible individual. I got to know his dad because his dad is the athletic director at Black Hills State University, and and I just couldn't help but really appreciate what his dad is all about. And I then got to know Austin, and I could see that the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Austin is an incredibly smart individual that relates really well with student athletes. And, for us, he knows how to recruit. And so we have 9 players that are returning for the 2019 season, and he's actually bringing in an additional 9. And our football coach and I joke a bit because he's had more 6-footers on campus than we've had in 10 years. And so Austin has just hit the ground running as a slam dunk hire for us. And then, to take a step further, hiring Matt Hammer, I mean, holy cow, I could not be more excited about him. He has incredible presence, being a Mr. Basketball out of the state of South Dakota and then working for the legendary Don Meyer up at Northern State, and then having experience in Division II and then in Region 9. Those are attractive things to us. We need recruits that can come in and play instantly, and both Austin and Matt bring that. We need individuals that can fit our culture, and CSU-Pueblo is an incredibly diverse population, and we need people who can develop talent, and that's what those two bring to the table. And I just couldn't be more ecstatic about these 2 hires and how we are dramatically changing our athletic department as we move forward.
Dr. Paul Plinske, CSU-Pueblo Athletic Director, joined us here in Wyoming Sports Talk today. One thing that you mentioned, too, is recruits. And again, you got to go up against the majors, Colorado State, the University of Colorado, even to a certain degree, Air Force. But the RMAC itself is very competitive. I guess, as you mentioned there with Coach Albers and Coach Hammer, these guys have been through the wars. They know about recruiting. But I'll tell you what, Doc, it's real tough right now just to get anybody to commit to any type of athletic program.
It is, but I think we have tremendous university here, and we are also, in a gem of a city down south of Denver and Colorado Springs, and so those 2 things combined, plus what Matt and Austin have told me repeatedly is that our football program here is continuously in the top 10 of National Division II rankings, and we have arguably one of the best facilities in America. And then Austin and Matt will play in one of the best facilities in the RMAC. And so we feel like we have an accessible and affordable cost of tuition. We feel like we have outstanding facilities. And now when you add 2 outstanding coaches to the mix, feel like we have an advantage. Student athletes can come in here and play right away. They can compete for championships. They receive an affordable and an excellent education. And then when you take the experience that both Matt and Austin will bring, we feel like we've got the lead up on people. And I know it's hard when you get a 5-star athlete to be able to compete with Boulder and Fort Collins and even Air Force to a certain extent. But talk to head coach John Riston, and he'll share with you that he's able to go toe-to-toe with them to get recruits in here. And so I believe Matt and Austin will be able to do that just as well.
One thing, and we've had numerous discussions with University of Wyoming Athletic Director Tom Berman over in Laramie, and I'm going to pose the same question to you. You always want to improve on facilities, and again, you always have to go out to the public, I guess, to get private donations, and I don't know how much the state of Colorado will match, but is that a constant ongoing battle trying to keep people to donate to the athletic endowment programs?
Well, what's exciting for me is that not only does CSU system in Fort Collins have a really good situation going on with Global and Fort Collins being willing to support CSU-Pueblo, but we're about ready to launch a major campaign, and athletics will spearhead that whole thing. Our facilities here are really second to none, and they're in large part due to 2 individuals, Dan DeRose and Art Gonzalez. And those 2 individuals single-handedly have given to CSU-Pueblo Athletics over $20 million. And if you asked our friends in the state at other schools, they would say that they know those 2 individuals and they tried to pull them out of here, but they're loyal to us and have given us the facilities that we have. And so, up to what you're sharing about Wyoming, I tell you, college athletics is in an arms race. We definitely all are, so we have to have state-of-the-union or state-of-the-art facilities. but we also have to have the scholarship ability to recruit these individuals. And volleyball and women and men's basketball on our campus are fully funded to the highest level in the NCAA Division II equation. And on top of that, now we have 2 coaches that are great personalities, wonderful human beings, and will give our student athletes an experience. So, we're just kind of putting a well-rounded package out there, similar to our Division I counterparts, and that's what makes it fun, but also pretty challenging.
Regarding CSU-Pueblo, again, obviously with the new hirings out of Region 9 with both men's basketball and women's volleyball down there, but is it safe to say that now CSU-Pueblo could be a nice open program for JUCOs around this area, whether it's Region 9 North here in the state of Wyoming, Region 9 South with Trinidad States of the World, Otero, again, some of those schools down there in the state of Colorado. Is it fair to say and assume that CSU-Pueblo is going to be that welcoming organization for athletics to bring in some of these JUCO products from the state of Wyoming and Colorado?
Absolutely. Our vision as a campus is to be the People's University of the Southwest United States by 2028. And that means we're looking for students that are resilient, are problem solvers, that are agile and come from diverse backgrounds. And, so we take that along with the fact that we are formerly a junior college and we've transitioned into a 4-year. We think we're a perfect match for people like Matt Hammer and Austin Albers, and so now that gives us a chance to really go after Region 9 recruits and bring them in here, either right out of junior college or even bring a student athlete that may be an at-risk student athlete to not have the strong academic background. But we feel like we have a great support system here to be able to help our student athletes, and yet now we have great coaches who can develop them. And so it's a really neat recipe. And I think that there's going to be some different things that people will see out of Southern Colorado in the near future, especially in volleyball and men's basketball.
Do you, tell me how many programs you have for both men and women down there? Again, obviously that we called games down there in Southern Region 9 basketball during the season. We know that baseball would be available, but I would assume for the RMAC that you have all programs in place for men and women?
We do. We are second largest in the conference with 22 varsity sports. We have 580 student athletes, and in that whole entire mix, we sponsor everything except for men's swimming compared to one other school in our league. So we have a robust, large athletic department, and we're competing, all throughout the state. But we do spend a lot of time down in Texas and even in New Mexico, and then we'll stretch on up into, Nebraska and South Dakota, North Dakota, Wyoming. And so we have a wide ranging net, if you will, but we're big, and we're really thankful for that because it makes us, a big, diverse, eclectic group. But I also like to think we're a great family, and we all really work well together to get things done.
Final thought from me, and again, we want to thank you, Dr. Paul Plinske, for joining us here on Wyoming Sports Talk today. The question that I have for you, and again, with all of the student-athlete sports that you have, and you're like me, I own the business, so my governing body is the FCC. You always have to answer to the NCAA. Is there things that you have to keep up on a daily basis, or do things come down randomly from NCAA headquarters?
Well, the NCAA is really big now into student health and well-being, and so they're doing a lot of testing with concussions in football, and they're also making sure that the mental health and well-being of student athletes is first and foremost of all we do. So we have a lot of initiatives and areas of need in that. They're also really concerned about, just being the right size compared to the size of the institution. A lot of schools don't have 22 sports. They have a lesser amount because that's what they can afford. And we've taken the approach that, we use our student athletes as a driver for enrollment and a way to assist in the size of our school. So we're just about 4,000 students. We have aspirations to get to, 4,100, 4,200 students. But the NCAA is really aware of that and is conscious of what's going on there. And so, those are the two hot buttons right now that are taking place. And we're so different than Division I. It's not even funny. I mean, we're not dealing with FBI scandals and issues that they deal with at that level. We're not dealing with, paying student athletes. We do provide athletic scholarships, which can be fully funded, and we do provide a cost of attendance. But at the same time, we're not all or none. We're not the financial engine that you see in Wyoming or Montana State or even Colorado or Colorado State. But we do have our financial struggles. We just have to use enrollment as our way to balance the books and provide that support for our student athletes. And thankfully, we have good donors and supporters to do that. But we're effective. We are also fulfilling our mission, and I think that the NCAA is really proud of what's going on in Division II athletics.
Well, Paul, we want to thank you so much for joining us here on Wyoming Sports Talk today. Continued success down there at CSU-Pueblo.
Well, I'll tell you, thank you guys for calling me. I was just thrilled to get the call to say that you'd like to interview me, and I will echo this. And it's been something that's really hit home in Pueblo. But Austin Albers and Matt Hammer are tremendous guys that we just can't wait to see the impact that they can have on this campus. And I know we're pulling them from your part of the country, but I want to say thank you for everyone who's been supportive to them and helped them develop and grow as individuals, because they're moving on and making a difference in another part of our country. So thank you all, and I'm thankful for the opportunity to interview with you guys.
Well, we're happy you got Matt Hammer out of Region 9, especially out of Sheridan. They're a top 25 program. They kept on defeating LCCC, so we're happy that he's away from the head coaching role, so now LCCC has a shot, at least coming up in 2019, 2020. So, well, thank you for that, Paul.
Yeah. Well, that's part of the game, but thanks, guys, and good luck to you. I appreciate your coverage, and thanks for everything you do.
All right, thank you very much for joining us today on Wyoming Sports Talk today. We're going to take a timeout. We'll come back. We got more. Oh, yeah, the program is power-packed today. We're back after these words.
At Platte Valley Bank, we understand that you have a busy life, and that means you don't always have time to come to the bank. That's why we offer user-friendly online and mobile banking with features such as bill pay, recurring transfers, and mobile deposit, so you can bank how you want when you want to. Whether you prefer to bank in person, over the phone, or online, Platte Valley Bank makes it easy to take care of your finances.
Platte Valley Bank, member FDIC.
You can count on Platte Valley Bank. Community banking for you.
Capital Lumber is number one in Cheyenne. Are you listening? We're all the lumber store you'll ever need. For electrical, plumbing, paint, and tools, lumber and hardware, we're for you. And we're out to earn your business, yes indeed. Capital Lumber is number one today. Are you listening? Capital Lumber's at your service all the way.
Capital Lumber Company, serving our area for over 53 years at 1222 Dunn Avenue in Cheyenne. Chick-fil-A is a proud supporter of our high school athletes at East, Central, and South. May the school year bring success to all of you. Before you start your day, stop by Chick-fil-A for a hearty, delicious, and satisfying breakfast. Only at Windmill and Del Range. Breakfast is served Monday through Saturday from 6 in the morning till 10:30 a.m. Breakfast with Chick-fil-A, the most important meal of the day, at Windmill and Del Range. Join in for a festive evening of fun, food, and live auction in Cheyenne on Monday, May 6th at the historic Little Bear Inn, which is sponsoring the Love Never Forgets Gala to benefit the Wyoming chapter of the Alzheimer's Association. The event is being held to support the services provided on behalf of the nearly 30,000 Wyomingites affected by this relentless form of dementia. For more information, call the Alzheimer's chapter at 316-2892. That's 316-2892. Or visit First Tier Bank at 1508 Stillwater Avenue for your tickets. Remember, at First Tier Bank, you'll find the best rate on a 27-month CD with a 3.10% annual percentage yield. Right now, it's time to head over to Jolly Rogers RV Sales, Parts, and Service for low prices on outstanding RVs in Wyoming. Your local, exclusive Jayco dealer wants you to check out their closeout deals, as well as their 2019 inventory of trailers, fifth wheels, and toy haulers. You can save up to 30% on select models with approved credit. You can find them at 6102 East Highway 30. Jolly Rogers RV Sales, Parts, and Service is a proud sponsor of LCCC men's and women's basketball, also our local high school teams too.
Cheyenne's oldest coin dealer and supplier, the Coin Shop, is proud to serve the community since 1982. Trade or sell your gold, silver, and other precious metals. Visit with David and the knowledgeable staff for a fair and honest assessment of your valuables. Located at 510 West Lincoln Way. Call them today at 778-7196 to schedule your personal consultation.
Are you looking for a pharmacist who will actually take the time to talk to you? Then come to Medicap Pharmacy. We're dedicated to healthcare only, which means we'll fill your prescription quickly, and then we'll make time to listen, answer your questions, explain your prescriptions, and tell you about possible drug interactions.
Medicap Pharmacy will always make time for you.
Medicap Pharmacy, 1947 Bluegrass Circle, next to Texas Roadhouse in Cheyenne. Or call 635-3712. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think authentic Italian. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think made fresh from scratch. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think great pizza, delicious Philly cheesesteak, superb hot and cold Italian sandwiches, meatballs, sausage, and special subs, calzones, crisp salads, and great service. When you say Mondello's Pizzeria, think unmatched Italian taste. Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, your only true Italian stop for lunch or dinner.
Here the season never ends. From Wyoming sports to the Broncos in Denver. From Rockies baseball to talking hoops with Nuggets basketball. Local, regional, and national. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today, right here on AM 1480 KRAE.
We want to thank earlier in our program Brian Ortmeier, the LCCC Lady Golden Eagles head coach, joining us on the program. We also had comments from Coach Jared Bednauer as the Colorado Avalanche move up three games.
What was that name?
Jared Bednauer.
There you go.
As the Colorado Avalanche move up 3-1 in their series with the Calgary Flames. Game 5 will head back to the Saddle Dome. Most recently, Dr. Paul Plinske, CSU-Pueblo athletic director, who most recently grabbing a couple coaches out of the Region 9 here locally, Austin Albers, Matt Hammer out of Sheridan, JC. So, again, you can hear in the attitude, or I don't want to say the attitude, but you can hear in the voice, he wasn't hired just to sit down and, do 30 years there. He's hired to win and bring in that winning attitude, and it looks like he's on track to do that. We are now going to answer the telephone and take on our next guest. I do believe we are going to be talking with head coach Greg Cronin, who is the Colorado Eagles head coach. And, Coach, thank you so much for joining us on Wyoming Sports Talk today.
My pleasure.
Coach, real quick, and we had this conversation, I do believe it was last week, with the voice of the Eagles, Kevin McGlue. In your Pacific Division, you play less games because there's less teams. Is that an advantage as you head into the playoffs that you only had 68 games this season as you get ready for your opening round of the playoffs?
I don't think it's an advantage because all the teams in our division, the first 2 rounds are the divisional rounds, so we're both in the same schedules. We play the same number of games. I think as you get past the divisional and you get into the conference, it could be because, it would seem to translate that you'd have more rest, right, and more recovery. So we won't know that until we get to the conference finals.
This Pacific Division was a real tough division this past season, and again, the Eagles qualified for the playoffs. But my question is to you, and again, being the farm to the Colorado Avalanche, 50 miles down the road, and you've got players rehabbing and you got players being called up, how much of a distraction is that to you as a head coach, where players are not moving every day, but shuffling throughout the course of the season?
Well, it's something that we all deal with in the American Hockey League. We're a feeder system. We're preparing players to get to the NHL, whether they get called up in the short term or the long term. I think it's the spirit of our jobs. It's very difficult to generate just kind of core consistency because your best players are getting pulled up, and usually your best players are your leaders. They're the pace setters. They're the guys that absorb the coaching real quickly. But it is what it is. I mean, you have to manage it, and it's the old cliche where there's an absence, there's an opportunity, so somebody has to step in and help out when your leaders leave.
Larry Perotti along with Nick Perotti and Greg Cronin, the head coach of the Colorado Eagles. Nick, go ahead.
Coach Cronin, at least looking back on this season, first year for the Colorado Eagles in the American Hockey League, first year you as a head coach of this team, again, getting into the playoffs, competing here for the Calder Cup. You will take on Bakersfield, the Condors, coming up this weekend, as you will be at home for the first two there at the Budweiser Event Center. But just give us your thoughts, recap of how this season went for the Colorado Eagles and your first year as the head coach.
Well, we didn't really know what to expect. Last year they had a shared minor league system with both St. Louis and Colorado, so there was basically two teams housed in one facility. This year it was all Avalanche players, and quite a few of our guys had never played in the AHL before. I think over half our team was first year in the American Hockey League. And I think we had 7 guys that were 20 years or younger, which is young, but that's what the American League has come to. And, for me, I hadn't coached in the American League since 2005, and it was a very different league back then. So there was a lot of newness for me. My staff was obviously new. Both Aaron and Ryan had won championships in the East Coast Hockey League, and there's obviously an expectation in this area at that level. And again, the fans had to evaluate a new league as well. So there was a lot of newness. We worked our way through it. I felt that our players had developed. I think it was a win-win situation. Some of our guys like Agazino, Greer, Toninato scored their first NHL goals, helped the Avalanche get into the playoffs. So, and obviously we made the playoffs. So I don't think you could ask for a better scenario for the organization.
Talking about that fan base down there in Loveland, and also too coming down here from the southeast portion of Wyoming here in the city of Cheyenne. But again, a fan base that is used to winning, obviously down there in the ECHL, so you had back-to-back Kelly Cup champions with the at least Colorado Eagles when they are part of that league. Now moving up though, for you, Coach Cronin, is there any added pressure from this fan base? Does this fan base expect another championship out of this Eagles team, even being in the higher league? Is there any added pressure coming up in the playoffs?
I don't feel it. I mean, the fans are really classy people. I mean, they're totally invested. I got a sense of that when we finished our last game, and it was fan appreciation night. They had the players out at the along the blue lines with tables signing autographs. And, I looked around, and I couldn't believe there had to be over 600 fans waiting, and it had to take them an hour and a half to get through the line. And, it's kind of a tenuous situation. We had won. We were waiting for Tucson, hopefully to lose to San Diego. They had put the game on in the scoreboard, so it was a very interesting situation. But I got nothing but positive feedback from the fans. I think Martin Lynn does a terrific job as an owner, integrating the Eagles into the community, and just in different venues, whether it's at hospitals or schools or other public events where the Eagles can be there and support the community. So again, it's a mutually satisfactory relationship. They've been spoiled here. I mean, winning championships is really a difficult thing to do, and they've won back-to-back Kelly Cups. So, as we move into the playoffs, I think the fans know it's a different game than it was in the East Coast League, and we're just going to do our best. We can't control what the fans think. We're just going to do our best as a team and try and maximize the next several weeks here.
As Nick mentioned, you are taking on the Bakersfield Condors. The first two will be in the Bud Center. Let me ask you this question. Have your neighbors to the south, the Avalanche, kind of set the bar a little high right now for those young Eagle players as they get ready to take the ice against Bakersfield, showing that, hey, you know what, we might be the lower seed, but look what we're doing right now.
Yeah, man, it's a great point. We talked about it Monday morning. I mean, you got on the eastern side, you've got Columbus, who basically sweeps through with Tampa Bay, which was a 30-point regular season, 30 points ahead of them in the regular season. Then you got the Avalanche that squeak in the last couple games of the regular season against the top-ranked Calgary team. It just proves the point that anything can happen after the regular season's over. And I think we're aware of that as a group. And again, we always focus on what we can control, and right now we can just control what we do as a group, play to our identity, and hopefully we can steal a couple wins at home Friday and Saturday.
Obviously, you've seen Bakersfield a lot this season. You've done enough scouting probably in these past couple of days to get ready for this 5-game series with the Condors. But just give us a little insight on what we can expect from Bakersfield. This is a team that's very heavy on defense, a high-powered offense. What do we expect out of the Condors coming up in this 5-game series?
Well, just for the fans and the people that are viewing it whether it's from the arena or from the internet. The Bakersfield's what do you want to call it, the little brother of Edmonton Oilers. So the Edmonton didn't make the playoffs. So they start stocking that team with some players that have spent considerable time in the NHL. So they're going to have a lot of talent. And you can see their record was outstanding right around after they actually beat us on the 25th of January. They went on like a 15-game unbeaten streak. You don't do that without having a lot of talent. Now, we had a 9-game unbeaten streak, which was probably the two of the longest winning streaks in the league. So, we should be able to be extremely competitive. What Bakersfield does really well is they get their defensemen up in the rush. Their defense generate a lot of points for them. They'll get a 4-man attack, and we're going to have to be very responsible with the puck in terms of eliminating turnovers and then being able to sustain some offensive zone pressure. And if we can do that during the course of the series, it'll give ourselves the best chance to win.
Coach, final thought before we let you go, and again, thank you for joining us here on Wyoming Sports Talk today. Again, I'll try to look for any advantage if I'm, walking there in the box, but the first two are in the Budweiser Event Center. Is that a little bit in favor of the Eagles? I know the next three would go to Bakersfield if that be the case, but is there a slight advantage being at home for the opening two games?
Well, there's a huge advantage, and we got the altitude too, which is always a challenge for teams coming in at sea level environments. That's a huge advantage, and it's tough when you're the team that has the highest seed, because if you take the first two, you lose the last three, right? So if you split and you're the home team, then you've got to deal with going on the road for 3 games. But I look at it from our perspective as an altitude team. If we can jump on them early and get a couple wins, then we just have to pick off one of the next 3. And, everybody plays that game, and it really doesn't matter. It's just the old cliche. You just got to take it one shift at a time. But I personally like it that way, especially when we're in a high-altitude environment.
Well, Coach, we wish you all the best. Thank you so much, and congratulations on the Eagles making it into the AHL playoffs. And again, Bakersfield Condors coming up tomorrow night in Loveland. So we wish you all the best.
Thank you, guys.
Greg Cronin, head coach of the Colorado Eagles, join us here in Wyoming Sports Talk today. We will take a quick timeout. We'll be right back with more for this Thursday afternoon.
For almost 60 years, 1480 KRAE has been Cheyenne's home for good times and great oldies. Add to that live play-by-play sports featuring high school football and basketball, along with LCCC men's and women's basketball. Now combo that with KYOY-FM, and you have Cheyenne and the area's only locally owned AM and FM radio stations. But we don't stop there. We also have 2 FM translators which serve the area with programming from both KRAE and KYOY. And that equals a lot of bang for your advertising dollar. Radio yesterday and now today, along with our websites, web streams, and digital ventures, makes us your one-stop shop. For more information, please call Don Morris at 307-637-0301.
MHP is a certified public accounting and consulting firm located in both Cheyenne and Fort Collins, offering accounting, tax, and consulting services to businesses, not-for-profit, government, and individual clients. MHP takes pride in their commitment to providing close, personal attention to their clients. They also continue to invest time and resources in continuing education, state-of-the-art computer technology, and valuing their relationships with you. MHP is a proud supporter of local and UW athletics. MHP, 314 West 18th Street, or call 634-2151.
Taco John's presents Olay the Day Pep Talks.
Good game, boys. You showed some real fight. Like when Wachowski put that hit on our own mascot. Solid work, son. Okay, Friday was for football, but Tuesday is for tacos. Taco Tuesday at Taco John's. It's a sacred holiday where we eat tacos repeatedly until I get full.
Save big every Taco Tuesday with crispy beef tacos for just 99 cents.
Get some rest, boys, because come Taco Tuesday, we olay the day.
Olay the day at Taco John's.
We're entering our 14th year and still going strong. I'm AJ Miller here at Kia of Cheyenne, and we always strive to make it easy for you to own a quality Kia vehicle for less. Right now, we can help get you into a new 2019 Kia Stinger and really make your day. Kia Stinger comes with an 8-speed automatic transmission, paddle shifters, push-button start, 18-inch wheels, leather seat trim, and heated seats, all standard. Come into Kia of Cheyenne, call 775-0123 or go to kiaofcheyenne.com. We'll make it easy.
Are you tired of paying ATM fees? Hi, this is Rick Flood, president of Platte Valley Bank in Cheyenne. Use your Platte Valley Bank ATM or Visa debit card at any ATM anywhere. We won't charge you a fee on our end, and we'll reimburse any fee you incur at any other ATM. That's right, no ATM fees at Platte Valley Bank. How about that? Platte Valley Bank, 3310 North College Drive and 421 Banda High Avenue, or pvbank.com. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Community banking for you. Capital Lumber is lumber one in Cheyenne. Are you listening? We're all the lumber store you'll ever need. For electrical, plumbing, paint, and tools, lumber and hardware, we're for you. And we're out to earn your business, yes indeed. Capital Lumber is lumber one today. Are you listening? Capital Lumber's at your service all the way.
Capital Lumber Company, serving our area for over 53 years at 1222 Dunn Avenue in Cheyenne.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
For tonight, it'll be mostly sunny with highs around 55 and winds out of the north at 25 to 30 miles per hour. For tonight, it'll be partly cloudy with lows around 34 and winds out of the north at 15 to 20 miles per hour. On Friday, it'll be sunny with highs around 70, and on Friday night, it'll be mostly clear with lows around 41.
Got something to say? Then get it off your chest right now. Phone lines are open at 307-514-1071. Make your opinion count and call the show. Wyoming Sports Talk today.
Once again, most recently, thank you to head coach Greg Cronin of the Colorado Eagles. And again, knowing that he has been busy getting teams prepped, I'm sure he's been on various shows as well.
He's been probably
he's probably wiped out. He's probably ready for a rest.
Yeah, at this point. But again, for the Colorado Eagles, they start up this weekend, at least tomorrow night there at the Budweiser Event Center, as they'll take on the Bakersfield Condors in the first round of the Calder Cup playoffs. Again, 7:05 is when that game will get underway. Puck drop down, at least down there in the Budweiser Event Center. That is Friday. Game 2 will be Saturday as well at 7:05 down there Budweiser Event Center.
And you were down there last weekend, crowd jam-packed, right?
Oh yeah, sellout. And I would not anticipate anything else of less than a sellout there. Again, those fans, whether it's from Loveland, Fort Collins, Greeley, heading over, maybe up from Denver, including some folks, did see a few Wyoming plates down there. So folks here in the Cap City heading down for at least Colorado Eagles hockey. It's going to be a thunderous environment out there, and it's going to be very fun to watch. Again, anticipate that the Eagles should have a lot of momentum heading into that contest, and would not surprise me if they come away with 2 victories there this at least coming up tomorrow and Saturday.
If you did not know, it is minicamp time for the National Football League.
Don't care.
Schedules are out. I know you don't care.
I'm just saying, minicamp when we got NBA, we got NHL playoffs going on.
We're going to save
bigger, better.
We're going to save time, but here for our Bronco fans are the upcoming games this season. We'll give you the preseason. They will have their first game.
Don't give me the preseason.
August 1st against the Falcons. They will have the Seahawks on August 8th. They'll be taking on the Niners on the 19th, and then they will have the Cardinals on the 29th, and then they will get into the regular season.
Thankfully, you're playing the 49ers in preseason so they don't embarrass you again.
You are taking on teams out of the AFC North and South this year for the most part. You will open up the season at Oakland against the Raiders, and then you'll have
That's Monday Night Football as well, too, week 1.
Yeah, you'll have Dub Bears. You will be at Mile High. And you also have the NFC North, because then you go to Lambeau Field on the 22nd to face off with the Packers. Jaguars at Mile High on the 29th. In October, you will be in Carson, California again to take on the Chargers. It will be the Titans at Mile High on the 13th. Then it's a very short turnaround. It's like a 4-day turnaround. You get a Thursday night game against the Chiefs.
Go figure. For any team that plays on Thursday night, you have that turnaround. But good luck on that one.
But it's at Mile High.
It doesn't matter. Again, Kansas City should be dominant in the AFC.
We're not going to get into that. We're just going to get down the schedule here because we've got a lot to roll in. At the Colts, as you will have AFC South. Then you got AFC North as you'll take on the Brownies on November 3rd. You get the Vikings on the 17th after the bye week.
I was going to say, before you move on, though, you got a nice little interesting stretch there. Again, Titans coming in. Titans, we'll see what happens with
Marcus
that team.
Mariota.
Again, Chiefs coming into town. at Indy. Colts, a team that's trying to improve. The Cleveland Browns, a team that has improved.
Baker Mayfield.
You're going to see a lot of new faces there at Cleveland again, also too with OBJ as well too as your wideout there for the Cleveland Browns.
So you get the Vikings on the 17th, then the 24th. You get the Bills in Buffalo.
Yeah,
they'll face off with Josh Allen. Chargers on the 21st. On December 1st. December 8th, they'll be in Houston to take on the Texans. 15th at the Chiefs. 22nd, they'll take on the Lions at Mile High. And the 29th, they wrap up against the Raiders at Mile High.
Not a scary schedule for the Broncos, very favorable. But, again, Broncos, right now, this is a team that is not finishing above 500. But who knows? Maybe this schedule is a little bit fortunate to them. But that 4 or 5 week stretch there, as I mentioned, with at least starting with the Titans, you can even back up again on the road at the Chargers week 5 all the way to about week 9 before you hit week 10 bye. That's going to be a rough patch there for the Broncos.
Now, in addition to the Rams, the Seahawks, and the Cardinals, let's see, the Niners draw the Buccaneers. They'll be at Tampa. They'll be at Cincinnati. They have the Steelers in Santa Clara. They will have the Browns in Santa Clara. They'll have the Redskins at Washington. They take on the Carolina Panthers in Santa Clara. Let's see who else they have. They got the Packers in Santa Clara. They go to the Ravens. So they'll be in Baltimore. They'll be at New Orleans to face the Saints. They get the Falcons at home. And that will pretty much wrap up their portion of it. So they get more of the South this year, the NFC South. So that's
good for them.
Good schedule for the.
Anyways, though, as that is months away, as we still have things to focus on.
Well, that's
here.
why they release these things months ahead.
I get that. I mean, again, hey, that's fun to focus on for a little bit, but plenty of action still going on, especially out in the Bay Area, or again here in Mile High, especially down there in Denver with what happened this past, at least yesterday, as we alluded to it and at least talked very quickly about it. But again, the Avs getting the 3-2 overtime win, again going up 3-1 against the Calgary Flames. But at least quickly going back, as we talked a little bit about hockey, whether it was American Hockey League, but moving back to NHL from action from last night. Dallas Stars, as I said and kind of alluded to, didn't have to worry about them going down 2-1 against Nashville. They could come back, and they did in Big D, at least at American Airlines Center, winning 5-1 against the Preds. They're tied up in that series now, 2-2.
Yeah.
That is going to go 7 games. Have a feeling Dallas. I still have I believe in Dallas. I believe in the Stars that they can pull off that upset as well too, being in that wild card position. How interesting would it be in the Western Conference, where you're going to have 2 of your top seeds, your number ones, or at least your division winners, go down to wild card spots? It's going to be very interesting to see, and it's a very likely possibility, especially with the Avs now up 3-1. Calgary does not come back. They might win one. They might make it a 3-2 coming up in Game 5, but they do not win that series. I hardly believe that.
I think that overtime loss just basically sucked all the wind out of the sails yesterday.
That basically buried Calgary. They're not coming back.
There's no way they're going to come back.
Avs have all the momentum, and they're going to – Game 5, if they don't win, I'd be highly surprised.
Bruins and the Maple Leafs, they knotted up at 2 games apiece. They will head to Boston.
That is your ultimate coin flip. It's just going back and forth. It's just ping-ponging between each team. That one will go to Game 7, have a feeling, and that might come down to the final minutes in the third period of who's going to go on out of the Eastern Conference. Again, Boston on the road gets it done against Toronto 6-4. I don't know what to make of either of these teams. They're not going past the second round, whoever does make it out. But right now, it's an interesting series. I give both teams credit, but they're definitely not taking down Islanders. They're not taking down the Capitals anytime soon. Neither of these are.
And the Blue Jackets have.
I was going to say you got to run into Columbus, and Columbus right now the hottest team.
They get the rest.
The only advantage, and that's the big thing right now for Boston or Toronto, is they're playing. They're getting that experience where that rest sometimes for those teams that have to sit out, and we've seen it in baseball, we see it in football, we see it wherever, that rest tends to hurt those teams more than it does them good. So that might be a slight advantage for Toronto or Boston, whoever comes out of this series, to say, hey, we don't have fresh legs, but we've been in this action. We've been in these scenarios. We've seen live games where you haven't in quite some time. Maybe that is a slight advantage, but Right now, those two teams are awaiting the behemoth that is the Columbus Blue Jackets at this point, who have waves of emotion and waves of momentum heading into the second round.
Moving on to the NBA, we got Game 3s going on tonight in the Barclays Center. The Nets and the Sixers. We'll see how that one pans out. Nuggets tonight.
We had games last night, though, too.
Well, move on. They're all 2-0s right now. Let's go on with the Nuggets. They got the Spurs, a place that has been just disastrous.
They can't win there. And will the Nuggets win tonight? They
need to get They have to get the breakthrough game.
They have to get at least one here in San Antonio. There's no doubt about it. Will they get that coming up here? It's possible. I still have no faith in this Nuggets team. San Antonio just looks like the better team. They let Game 2 slip out of their hands. Let's be honest. Again, San Antonio had the lead throughout majority of that, and then Murray came back and just had a phenomenal just close out to that contest, and that's what led Denver to get that victory.
The table was set by both Jokic and Millsap, which I said those two have to be first and foremost. And again, Gary Harris also was.
But it's a back and forth chess match right now between Mike Malone and Greg Popovich. Of where, all right, Pop realizes, okay, those two got their moments, they got their chances there at the Pepsi can. We know now. We saw what happened in Game 1 to keep them quiet. Game 2 got a little away from us. All right, Game 3, we need to focus back on our efforts to quiet them down again. Again, if you're San Antonio, absolutely, you can't allow Jokic to get 20 points, Millsap to get hot, and also too, you kept Jamal Murray quiet for majority of that game. Well, you need to do it for, it seems like, all of that contest, where in order to keep the Nuggets out of it, one of those pieces has to go cold. And you had one of them if you're San Antonio. You had Jamal Murray cold, but then he found a way to get hot there at the tail end. So right now, it is a coin flip coming up tonight for Denver. Will they finally get over that schneid, get over that hump to get a win in San Antonio? I just don't see it. I still think San Antonio on paper right now is the better team, and they're showing it. They're keeping it competitive.
Second time I was asked, and matter of fact, Coach Ortmeier asked us, and I was asked early this morning, is it must-win time for the Warriors tonight?
No. Now, this is a team that I think
they better bounce back tonight.
They should rebound. They have been in this position before. This is a Warriors team. These are personnel that have been on this team, that have been in scenarios like this, whether it's being blown out by 30 points, having a come-from-behind victory by the other team. They've been through all different scenarios in the playoffs where they've come back in the next game and gotten that victory. They kind of made that statement win after coming off of a bad loss. And do I anticipate that coming up tonight in Staples? Absolutely. I think the Warriors, they're not tuck and tell. I don't think this is a team where we talked, at least early in the week with Joe Morgan, where is this team going to become bored with losing DeMarcus Cousins? I don't believe it. I think if anything, with DeMarcus Cousins running into that injury, Golden State now has some entity, some reason to get out of that boring regiment, or at least get away from that boredom and have something to play for, have something to fight for, and that'd be one DeMarcus Cousins of saying, hey, sorry this happened to you, but let's make sure you get that ring, though.
And talking about the boredom, you got nothing really more to ask the Warriors, but starting to ask the question of Kevin Durant, where are you going to be next year? KD
that's been asked all
I know, but KD not leading on, but you know what? I'm getting the impression, and I might be wrong here, Nick. I'm getting the impression that KD's staying put.
Yeah.
I don't think he's shopping around.
Well, he's not going to allude to anything right now. He has said throughout the season, hey, I'm not going to make any decision. I'm not going to
But he
say anything.
He seems to be pretty happy with the Warriors. I don't think he's going to shop around. I think when this is all
I think
said
with what happened down in Los Angeles, more so on the Lakers, pretty much turned him off from even thinking about going away from Golden State at this point in time.
And trying to be part of that dream team.
Well, it's not going to happen right now. L.A. is just in a world of hurt. So, but that is such a subpar news item coming out of Golden State for the Warriors.
But that's what they're trying to find, any kind of
story.
They've
been doing it this entire season, and is that something that's going to weigh eventually on KD's mind? I doubt it.
He's starting to talk about it right now, and basically he kind of got, if you read between the lines, he's basically saying, I think I'm going to be back here next year. Last but not least, before we get out of here, the Oakland A's actually opened a checkbook. Holy cow, Billy Beane, what's the matter with you? Billy Beane and Chris Davis signed a 2-year extension that will keep him with the Swingin' A's through the 21-21 season. The A's did not disclose financial terms, but according to ESPN's Jeff Passan, the deal is worth $33.5 million. So do the math, $16.75 million for the next 2 years. So
does he deserve it? Yeah, I think he's been a solid player for the Oakland A's. Good to see that they did open up that money.
He had 48 home runs last year.
But the A's are trying to get out of that cheap kind of ball, at least, organization.
Well, they're making money.
Well, yeah, they certainly are. And
even
the
in
A's,
that garbage dump they're
But I'm
in.
just saying the A's are under new ownership, or at least they've been for a few years now. Again, Dave Cavall, who does own also to the San Jose Earthquakes out of the MLS. So he's invested in local teams. He is trying to get that Oakland community invested in Oakland A's baseball, since for the city of Oakland, that's going to be your last professional ball club there.
Well,
Warriors are out. Raiders are out. And the A's are the only thing you got left. So right now they're trying to invest, and they're trying to say, hey, Oakland, we're invested in you. Here's what we're doing. And I think that was another step for the Oakland A's of let's lock him up, who is a potential. He is the face right now of the Oakland A's.
Well, think about it. He's led the majors with 48 homers last season. He has hit 143 home runs since joining Oakland before the 2016 season. His 3 seasons with at least 40 home runs are tied with Mark McGwire and Hall of Famer Jimmy Fox for the most in A's history. So, again, locking him down, it's not so much your I guess you would call him the face of the A's right now, Chris Davis.
No.
All right, we got to wrap things up here. It is a Thursday, our last